We're also going to continue to give you the inside scoop on the players the Broncos have added. Henry did a great breakdown of Brandon Jones yesterday. Now Todd is going to give us the inside scoop on an inside defensive lineman in Malcolm Roach. And I'm trying to drag this intro
I was wondering what that was about. Then I
as
realized,
I absolutely can.
It's like, wow, that's a lot of
as
slow
you
talking.
hear is driving or drawing out this extension cord as long as he can, and he's just gonna make me continue to talk here. Yep. It's Henry's fault.
Okay,
I
there
love
were a
that.
lot of clips.
I love
There were
that.
probably too many.
You're saving himself right there. It's all Henry's
The
fault.
code's 5280 if you need it.
And here we go. Now anyone can steal our iPad and know the code.
Oh, no. I mean, that's first guess.
So Malcolm, I think he's a pretty good player. I went back and looked at a few games, but I just took four cut-ups. You know,
Not
Henry had
27?
about 27, so
It's true.
he's putting some pressure on me. But he's a really good interior D lineman. He usually plays the 2-eye, which is 2-eye is what they call the shade. Is this pin working? Oh, what they call the shade of the guard. So the inside shade of the guard, the 2-eye, head up is a 2, outside is a 3. So he plays the 2-eye or the 3 technique as an interior lineman, and he does a really good job with them. One of the things I like about him is that he has a lot of hustle and a lot of fire when he plays. Doesn't really produce as far as sacks or interceptions. He has one of both in his career. But
He has a pick?
He has one pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
They drop him in coverage occasionally.
Yeah.
Dang.
Not like often, but like he'll drop out.
Like Tampa 2 when you need somebody to cover
exactly,
him, like 5 yards from the quarterback. That's it. He's the guy. But he does a great job of hustle and energy. So this is one where he just lined up in a 2-eye, gets blocked up pretty well. But he, as you can see, he's blocked up. This is him right here on the edge. He finds a way to get around that corner and is able to provide some pretty good pressure on Baker Mayfield and ends up hitting him as he throws it, causing incompletion. I think he just has a lot of good energy, good fundamentals, and I think he'll bring that to the Broncos, which is something we definitely need from the defensive line group. So I just wanted to point that out. You know, as a defensive lineman, your tape's not as sexy as a safety, you know?
It's true.
100%. And one of the biggest things about him is if we don't talk about him much throughout the season, that's a good
probably
thing.
a good thing.
Especially because his strength and why the Broncos brought him in is not pass rushing.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, only the one sack in his career. It's to eat up offensive linemen and then let Alex Singleton and the other guys make tackles on the field. It's kind of like offensive linemen. If we're talking about you, it probably means from a defensive lineman standpoint, defensive tackle standpoint, that you just continue to get blown up.
Yep.
And that's not a good thing. If we don't talk about you, that's great.
Exactly. So this is him again, right here playing 3 technique. I do think he kind of struggles getting to the quarterback, but he makes up for it another way. So this is just him playing the 3 technique. This game alone, he had 7 tackles. As a deep tackle, that's a lot of tackles.
Yeah.
So he had 7 tackles in this game. He rushes. He's right here. Doesn't get home. It's not really successful. But this guy is about 10, 11 yards downfield, and you see him running out the stack. This is him in on the tackle.
Wow.
As a deep tackle. He takes out his own teammate completely. Like, dude was laid out. I thought he was done for a minute. But this is the kind of effort that you want to see from your interior lineman. That's really going to help on screens, on any kind of bootlegs, him being able to run and get to the ball. So, you know, that accounted for one of his tackles that he had to run 10 yards to get. So that's big time by him. This is him right here again, and this is him in the run game. I think he does a great job in the run game. If he's one-on-one blocked, you're not moving him. He's really stout. He's really strong. The only time I've ever seen him get moved is when there's, you know, a double team. But then again, you got 300 versus 600. It's a tough play. So this is him in the run game, and this old lineman's about 300, 310, trying to block him. He's literally holding him off with one hand.
There's a lot of that,
And he does this a lot. He's very, very stout in the run game and does a great job of getting off of blocks and be able to make plays. So this is really one-on-one with the running back in the hole. He makes this tackle. He makes this play. Running back has no choice but to run right into him because he's so stout against the offensive lineman. I feel like he does this a lot on tape. So hopefully teams leave him blocked one-on-one because I think he'll win that matchup, you know, 90% of the time. last clip because I think we have the gist of who he is as a player. And this was just him. This was my only negative, is that even when he gets one-on-one blocks in pass coverage, this is kind of where he stays. And he makes his money in effort, hard work, and hustle to the ball. But as far as affecting the quarterback on third down, I don't think it's his strength. But hopefully we have some other guys that are going to play on third down that can really get to the quarterback. I think he's primarily an addition in base, playing the nose, and really able to help us in the run game because up the middle with Josie going, we're going to need some help. I think he'll provide it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like on those plays, occasionally he'll like knock a guy back like a step or two. He's never collapsing the pocket. And like he does a good job of like jumping and getting hands up and doing that sort of stuff. I think he broke up like 3 passes last year, which is nice. But yeah, he's not a pass rusher. He has like a little burst, but he doesn't have like the speed to actually close even if he gets by a guy.
Yeah.
That's why the Broncos paid Zach Allen $15 million a year last year. Is unfortunately, pass rushing is, unfortunately for Malcolm, I should say, pass rushing is a lot more valuable. So you pay a defensive lineman that can pass rush $15 million when Malcolm might be just as good of a run stopper as Zach Allen is as a pass rusher, but it's just not valued as much. But you have to have run stuffers on the defense. And in fact, right after the season, George Payton talked about what the defense needs. He said, we need to stop the run better. We had an inexcusable 4-game stretch. He didn't say this, but it was the worst 4-game stretch in Broncos history against the run. And the run defense was just not great all season long. They had to get better there. And fortunately for the Broncos, it's cheap to upgrade that. And according to PFF, Malcolm Roach had the best run stop rate among interior defensive linemen in the entire NFL last year. So just the Broncos with him, with Brandon Jones, they're going for the undervalued, underappreciated guys that they believe can break out when they become full-time starters, like both of these guys are going to be now.
I'm curious how much, because I think I wouldn't play him more than half the snaps. Like, I think that just with his build, he's just not meant to play all that much. Like, I'm not sure he's meant to be a starter.
That's the rotation at D-line anyway.
Exactly.
You probably only play 50. If you're really good, you maybe play 60% of the snaps.
Exactly.
But truthfully, I feel like he will be our best run stopper day one. And the only reason why he's not making 10 to 15 million is that he doesn't get 3 to 4 sacks a year from the inside. Rushing on the inside is hard already. So if you can just manage to get 3 to 4 sacks, a couple pressures, that's where you get your big payday. But that's literally the only difference between him and somebody like a DJ Jones is that DJ is going to get to the quarterback a couple times a game, affect him a little bit more. But as far as the run stopping ability, I think he'll probably be our best run stopper day one.
Especially like the outside zone runs, like those stretch runs, like because his feet are just so quick. Like he's so strong with the upper body and he'll like fight with guys, but he can run and flow with the play too, and then like get in there, toss a guy to the side. I went back, I watched the Vikings game, and so it was a bunch of him against Dalton Reisner. It was a tough day for Dalton. Like there was a lot of just like grabbing, throwing him to this side, throwing him to that side, just controlling the gaps. The other one, I went back through the Falcons game with Chris Lindstrom, and that was a little bit different. Like Lindstrom locked him up, didn't get pushed around that same way. So I'm excited for like training camp, seeing him go out with Quinn, Ben Powers, just see what that actually looks like.
Should be a good matchup.
Yeah, it should be. And speaking of his role, he's had the exact same role on the Saints defense his first 4 years in the NFL. His rookie year, he played in 37% of the defensive snaps. Second year, 42% of the defensive snaps. Third year, 37% of the defensive snaps. Fourth year, 37% of the defensive snaps. That's pretty incredible to play the exact same percent in 3 of your 4 years.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit more, but Henry, as you said, probably not more than 50%. Like if he takes a step up, it's going to be more than last year.
Just
but
not his game.
Yeah,